From the real estate, interior design, and design and build experts at the Penzo Group comes a podcast that covers all things home. For our team, a home is so much more than the sum of its four walls. It goes beyond. A home is our sanctuary, a place to create memories, build routines, and shape our futures. Through a series of captivating conversations with guests who are industry experts in their fields, we discuss their lives, passions, and their most personal and intimate spaces, their homes. Welcome to Beyond Four Walls, where we explore the soul of living spaces and celebrate the essence of what makes a house a true home. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Four Walls with the Penzo Group. I'm so excited. Today we have amazing entrepreneurs and sisters, Rachel Garbutt and Amanda Riva. They are the co-founders of Dottie, which is, I think, revolutionizing cleaning products. They create beautifully and aesthetically pleasing cleaning products. I personally love my super scrub brush. I have it in all colors, but I love the blush pink. It matches our kitchen and our pink Smeg products, and it makes me so happy every day to use it when I'm cleaning like all our dirty dishes and pans. What I find so endearing about you two is that you're sisters, and I personally work with my brother at Urban Blueprint. We're co-founders of the business, and it's just really amazing to watch you thrive in business and life together. So to kick it off, I just want to ask you, like, what was the impetus for starting Dottie? Like, what's the story?
Well, I just first and foremost, thank you for having us. We're so happy to be here.
Yeah,
what a
we're
treat
so
for us. We love to get to share Dottie's story, but especially with other amazing female business owners. So Dottie has such a great story, but it's not an untold one. You know, this really started with Rachel and I. We both come from marketing backgrounds. We both are design enthusiasts. We love a home renovation. And we kind of did that tried and true story. We went out looking for a product that did not exist. And so what's funny for Rach and I is, you know, I had just finished my build in Moore Park. Rach was doing her reno on Yonge Street in Summerhill, and she was living with us for a moment. And with all of the kids.
Yeah, wait, living together, working together, and sisters.
And sisters. It was if you can hack that, you can do business together.
Yeah.
But Rach was trying to very generously help clean up after one of the kids one day. And so she went to go and try and find a broom. Okay. And she came up and she obviously, as sisters do, started making fun of me and said, "Do you not own a broom? You just built a house. You don't own a broom." And I just said, I would never put one of those ugly red plastic things in my brand new house.
Yeah.
And it was from that we realized, wow, there really is nothing in the category that is aesthetic and functional. We could have gone out, you know, the MoMA design store or gone to a high-end spot and found something expensive that didn't work. Or we could go to Canadian Tire and pick up, you know, the standard cleaning product, but it wasn't going to look beautiful. And that really became this like challenge that we had. And I mean, I think it's no surprise that after the last few years, we've all spent a lot of time at home. And I think it's fundamentally changed the way we feel about the types of products we bring into our space.
Yeah, exactly. And we started Dottie right at the beginning of COVID. And you can imagine that's quite challenging when it comes to building a supply chain. But I think, you know, this is so much more than just cleaning tools. For us, it's how you take care of your home. And, you know, we all take a lot of pride in our home. As Amanda said, you know, we've done renos, we're design enthusiasts, and we wanted to create products that inspired people to want to take better care of their home because it just makes you feel good. It's such an important part of life.
That's such a belief that we all share, like especially at the Penzo Group, Urban Blueprint. Home is really our sanctuary, us doing it with build, interiors, construction, real estate. But I have really seen with COVID being the impetus for it, but like every touch point of the home is now so important and affects every part of our day.
Yeah, we had such an interesting conversation recently about that exact concept, is how sensitive we've all become to our surroundings and how deeply our surroundings impact us. And I think that there's never been more of a give and take relationship with the spaces that you call home or work or family spaces or vacation spaces. They can have such a direct correlation to your mood and your output on a day-to-day basis. And I think as homeowners, but also as consumers, I think it's changed our philosophy around the types of products we are attracted to, we want to invest in and buy and put in our space because they have a really direct impact on our day-to-day experiences.
You guys also have a philanthropic component to your business, and you kindly invited me to volunteer at CAMH for wrapping holiday gifts for patients. So thank you for that. And that's how I met Rach. So do you want to just dive into that part as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I think that ladders back to what we were saying a little bit earlier, where cleaning is such an important part of caring for yourself. So there's just such a strong correlation between how you take care of your home and how you take care of yourself. And, you know, this isn't anecdotal, this is scientifically backed. And this is something that we've really learned through our work with CAMH, that it's wild. It's like 53%, there's a 53% boost in overall happiness for every hour of cleaning you do, which is wild. So, you know, the time that you invest in your home is directly correlated to investing in yourself and your mental health. So we're really proud to be able to support CAMH as well as other incredible organizations that support mental health. And I think with Dottie, you know, it's a bit of the practice of how do we support financially to be able to build the research that enables real change in the mental health space, and then how do we also provide the tools that help people on a day-to-day. So, you know, we're incredibly passionate, and this is something that's very personal to us. And we're just thrilled to be able to participate. And we loved having you out too.
I also wanted to ask about the name Dottie, because it's not a word in the dictionary. It's quite unique. How did you come up with it?
Well, let me just first say, because Rachel came up with it, so she gets to tell the story, but I just think it's always funny. The first thing we get asked is, do we have a great Aunt Dottie? And the answer is no. Dottie is not named after some relative who was an exceptional cleaner.
Yeah. Or a cat.
Or a cat.
Cat or aunt. But no, I mean, Amanda and I are both former marketing entrepreneurs, right? Yeah. So when we approached Dottie, we really think from a marketing lens, and we understood that building a brand requires brand memorability. So we wanted to come up with a name that you could remember, that was easy to say, and that was fun to say. So when we think about Dottie, we just loved it because it also ties back to our British roots. Dottie is actually British slang for kind of eccentric and excited. And so we just, like, when we came up with it, we were like, yeah, like that's the feeling we want.
It is really fun to say. And your website is getdottie.com.
You got it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Getdottie.com.
Well, and I think that a fun thing about the name, that sense of eclecticness, when you try to think about how you're feeling when you clean, when you start thinking about the emotion behind it, we realized, you know, there isn't one way to clean or one feeling that you have. But what many of us do is we put on a playlist and we try to create an experience from cleaning. But that might be rage cleaning. It could be stress cleaning. It could be happy cleaning. It could be prepping for a dinner party cleaning. But there's so many different emotions and feelings that can be put behind that activity. But whether we like it or not, you have to do it. Yes. And so I think for us with Dottie, we were trying to capture all of those different feelings that someone may have.
Absolutely. I mean, rage cleaning was major during COVID. I was like cleaning door handles every day. But it made me feel at peace.
And a little in control,
in
right?
control of what was happening.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with, like, you have 3 kids as well.
Yeah.
Like, the house just gets totally crazy. And then when I'm able to clean it up at the end of the day, it's like I've done my ritual.
Yes.
And it feels good. And I feel in control and at peace and happy.
Love that. That's so good. And we all have such different cleaning styles. Rach and I joke about that all the time. Like, we have very different cleaning styles. I'm very much of a, like, as I go through the day, little things all the time to avoid like a big buildup at the end of the day. Because for me, I just find if I do little things all the time, it's not that one big cleanup at the end.
Yeah, we love the micro cleans. We very much back that. And yeah, I think that's the interesting thing too, that we get asked all the time. They're like, oh my gosh, you must have the most, you must love cleaning so much. And I go, No, actually, I don't love cleaning. And that is why we had to create better tools that made the experience more enjoyable. So I think what you see through our product design lens is that sensory experience, right? Because cleaning is so sensory. It's like, how do things smell? Like disgusting, stinky sponges. How do they feel? How do they look? And that's been a big driving force for us is we're like, how do we touch on that sensory experience? And just what you said earlier is like, when you pick up your Dottie, you're like, oh, I like this. So it improves those micro experiences throughout the day. And, you know, if we can just bring a little bit of joy, you inspire people to enjoy cleaning a little bit more, then we've done our job.
So you have 2 product categories right now. You've got the scrub brush and the broom. Are there plans to expand into?
Absolutely. You've got to take over the cleaning category. So I think, you know, when we think about Dottie, our goal is to elevate the entire cleaning category. And so we needed to pick somewhere to start. And that dirty dish sponge, like Rach mentioned, and the broom, because of her hilariously not finding one in my house, those felt like a natural entry point to us into the category. So our super scrubber launched in May. The best broom and dustpan launched in November across North America. And this year we have some very exciting new product innovation. We can't reveal it all, but we have some complementary products for the sink and for dish cleaning. And then we also are going to be adding some accessories. So a fun example for us is, or I guess kind of an interesting part
Can
about—
you share that one?
Yeah, no, I will.
But I heard it here first.
Love it. Spoiler. But I think a fun thing about Dottie is that our consumers play a huge role in our product innovation. And again, the marketing background that we have really means that we love to be informed by consumer feedback. So all of Dottie colorways, those were all decided by consumers. So
and there's 3?
There's 3. So we've got Odyssey, Sage, and Blush. And what's interesting is initially we really thought, oh, blue's going to be a slam dunk.
Well, because in interiors, blue's kind of like the classic.
It's the classic color
for someone who might not necessarily gravitate towards
gray.
Or gray.
We were like, we tested all of the colors.
So why especially the sage and the blush?
Those were customer voted. We started with like a wide breadth of colors and we narrowed, even down to like the design of the super scrubber. We roughly knew what we wanted. But the height, the diameter, those were things that we polled consumers. We got their feedback. We had them touching the product. We really believe that we're not in a position to come into the market and say, this is what you need. We want to know what people want. How do they want to use a product? And so what's so funny is one of the accessories coming out this year was actually inspired by a PR gifting strategy we did where we sent out super scrubbers to media with this adorable little holder, like a coaster for it to sit on. And we were flooded with requests for this. And we didn't have it available. So we've been promising everyone for like 6 months and it's finally coming out this spring. So we're going to have this really beautiful ceramic holder that you can put right next to your sink and the Dottie can sit on that so that it has a place in your
innovative.
Home. And again, we'd love to take credit for these ideas, but these are the great ideas we get fed by our consumers and we really listen and take it seriously.
Another question I wanted to ask was regarding your distribution channels. Are you, right now, you're just direct to consumers, correct?
So actually that is expanding for us every day. So, you know, what started as just Rach and I, we have just brought on our first team member to help us with our distribution growth strategy. So we're an exciting part of being in that new business phase. We're starting to build out our team and our distribution channels. We're very excited about that. So here in Canada, you would find us in local stores like Coco Market is a great example of somewhere you can pick us up. But we're also on well.ca. So we do ship across Canada, which is amazing. They've been a terrific partner to us. And we just completed our first trade show, which was really funny.
Yes, because Amy was a guest on the show as well. And I think she was also at that.
We were right next to each other at the trade show. So we were like, please go look at the beautiful My Set dishes and then come and get your super scrubber to clean them with. So we made a good duo at Shop Object, which was really fun. Great to be alongside pals. But I think that was really important for us because our US distribution is going to be an important part of our 2024 growth strategy.
And let's just circle back to the home again, because that's what this podcast is really all about. I'd love to just know what your favorite room of the house is for both of you.
Oh, we love this question.
You want to go first?
We've actually talked about this before, and we have different favorites. And I think it's because we have different favorite activities. My favorite room in the house is my bedroom because that is where I relax. So one of my core ways to relax is to get into my bed, turn on some music, and read. And so for me, my bedroom is like yeah, I read physical books. You know, I'm old school like that. It's crazy.
Love a book.
I love a book. I love the smell of them. It's,
Yeah.
But my rooms is my favorite, absolute favorite, and it has to be spotless though. That is why it is so comfortable and relaxing for me. So like making the bed, like beautiful bedspreads, super clean.
Is your room neutral?
It is so neutral. My whole place is neutral. It's like layered neutrals and lots of texture. Like I'm a big like texture person. So yeah, for me, it's definitely the bedroom, and I love to sleep. Like I'm an 8-hour a night girl. I know I don't have kids yet, but so that might change, but
enjoy it.
I do.
I somehow fit it in.
Oh, good for you.
You don't have to go bed at like
You're
8 o'clock.
Inspiring. I love this. Thank you.
And yours?
Oh, I mean, I feel like it's a bit of a cliche, but mine is so the kitchen. Like, I mean, also my prior business was a marketing firm that specialized in the food and beverage industry.
Yes.
And I used to have a YouTube cooking channel back in the day. So like,
and you genuinely just love to cook.
I love to cook. Like I genuinely love it. Like it's my version of getting 8 hours of sleep, like making a home cooked meal. Like I find it so restorative, and my kids are great eaters. So feeding them is like a joy. So we really like to gather as a family. And to me, the kitchen is not just a place for eating. That is where my family gathers. It's where kids do their homework. It's where we debrief on the day. It's where I sometimes find friends who have come into the house sitting with a coffee. Like we have really created that as the cornerstone of our home. And I think the foundation of how we engage with both family and friends and creating a space that is welcoming is so critical. So even with the new home that we're currently building, a lot of the thought behind it has been, how do we make it a very inviting and comfortable space? So even if you're new to my house, you would kind of intuitively know where to go and get a water or a glass or utensils. Like we want people to just make themselves at home. And I think that's a really big part of who we are as a family and how we engage.
Sounds like you had a great upbringing, just the way you guys worked together. What was your house or your environment like growing up? It sounds like you had amazing parents.
Oh yeah,
growing up,
we were incredibly
lucky.
I don't know why we are incredibly.
Sorry, Mom, Dad.
Yeah, very much both still present in our lives. We are incredibly lucky, and the dynamic, like we won the lottery in terms of the dynamic of our family, and I think you're right. Our ability to work together and to cherish our homes and our lifestyle so much stems from how we were brought up. Our mom was an incredible homemaker. She did take care of the house and the family, and that was her role and job. And it's a big job, right? We appreciate everything that she not only did, but also taught us. And I think that's where, taking care of your home, it really stems from our mom. She's so meticulous. And that's really translated into our priorities.
But I think just to add to what Rach was saying, I think what our parents have done very well, and I think, what I try and with Giorgio to emulate in our own home, and what Rach does as like the world's best aunt, is putting family first. I really think that our parents did a terrific job of making sure that family came first. And that didn't mean kids came first. It meant as a unit, we all mattered. We all had to have full cups, and like having those cups full together was a really important part of our story. So we were the kids at every restaurant. We were on every family vacation. Like our parents took a lot of pride in having us be present. And I think that has really trickled into how we engage now with the next generation of family that we have. It's just an important part of how we all come together.
Yeah. And I think an interesting tip too, so as we, in the mental health space, we obviously do a lot of research and we stay up to date. On the youth side, we're starting to dive into that category a bit.
Okay.
So hot tip, and this is something that we were brought up doing, is chores.
Yes.
So whether it's cleaning up after dinner, walking the dog, which was actually a delight, helping to vacuum, sweep, whatever it might be, there is a direct correlation between children participating in a family, having responsibilities and chores, and that leading to them being a more empathetic person in general as an adult and a better partner to whoever is in their life in the future. I actually believe the stat is there's a 64% increase in empathy and contribution when you do contribute to household chores as a child.
Yeah, you can see it. Like we've started that with our 7-year-old where he started making his bed. He started, helping with dishes. And you really see the sense of purpose and fulfillment that they get from doing those small things daily.
It's also really interesting when you think about kids just in this whole concept of cleaning is I think our oldest, who's going to be 9 soon, we probably started him doing chores around like 5 or 6 years old. And it's an interesting thing because it's like any of us, when it grows up being a normal part of your day, it becomes habit. And habits feel comfortable. And you take a lot of, I think, comfort from having that sense of control. You understand what's expected of you. You're delivering on that. You feel a sense of pride and accomplishment and contribution, but you're also ticking a box on something that you know contributes positively to the household. And we've seen that be positive time again. And when I think we move away from it or we forget about it, you come back from March break, it's not top of the radar. We see a real change from a behavior perspective. So I love that. I think that sense of routine is so critical.
So going back to the concept of home, of course, what does home mean to you?
What a good question. Rach and I talked about this a little bit the other day.
We have been talking about this as we're talking about kind of like the future vision.
Yeah, I think that when we think about the concept of home, I think what we started to think about it is it being an expression of ourselves. So very much like we pick out the clothes we're going to put on every day. I think that home is a very personal expression. And what I think is really interesting is that home might be an individual expression or it could be an expression of your family. And I think as, from the perspective of parents, I think as our kids grow up, our needs of a home evolve and change. You can feel constricted at times. You can feel like you're overflowing with clutter. You can feel like you don't have enough or kids have just grown out of everything that they have. And you're always in this sense of dynamic and change, but I think that we all have this desire to feel really grounded in our space. And so you're always looking for these opportunities to make your home an expression of yourself and of what your family needs as a foundation. So for us, I think right now we've really been focusing on that individualness that every home brings. I think that's where we think about adding new products to the collection. We know that people have different preferences around what they want to use and how they want to engage with cleaning. And it's why we have different colors, because different colors are going to provide people with different expressions that feel right for their home and their space. And so I think that's a little bit of how we're trying to build the brand is we know there's not one way that everyone is going to do something, but we believe that there's a unifying theme that everyone would like to do to have a better cleaning experience when they go to do it.
And I can also add, the home is intimate.
Yes.
The relationship you have with your home, the experiences within your home, and the way you take care of your home is intimate. And I think that's probably been one of the most interesting revelations, in my opinion, from starting Dottie, from the customer feedback, is how personal cleaning is, right? Think about all the little things you do, right? Or the things you don't do that you're then like, oh my God, people are coming over. I've got to clean. I've got to clean. I've got to make everything perfect. And I think that's a really interesting touch point, is that need to make your home feel perfect when others enter your space. And it does talk about that, that tie between your home and it being an extension of you. But what we love the most is not that part of cleaning. It's the other part, the intimate part when no one's around. It's like, how do you take care of your home? What are those like quirks?
Like the nuances. Yeah, there's such an alignment with Dottie and also Homekin, which I also started during COVID, we're just really seeing a need in the market for a platform that connects designers with consumers and really putting more power in the hands of the consumer and getting their feedback and for them to be the creative director of their house. And it's amazing what that consumer will tell you and just really listening to them over time because they are the driving force behind the brand.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, and I love that. And we've had great opportunity to chat about HomeKin. And I think that concept of listening to what consumers want, they are going to tell us. We just have to listen.
Yeah.
And I think just building on Rachel's point about the intimacy, we're in a unique position right now because I'm in the process of actually building a new house.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say that I never thought about cleaning in this sense of intimacy and functionality and aesthetic ever before. And this is my third home build.
Yeah.
So this is the interesting one where Rach and I spend a great deal of time talking about how am I building cleaning into the home. I don't know that in my prior homes, it was a forethought. It was usually the afterthought of, I would like a new broom. There wasn't one I wanted.
Right.
Okay, I need new towels. I need new linens, new cloths, new sponges, because I want everything to feel fresh and new. But this time I'm not thinking that way. I'm thinking more about how am I organizing my cleaning tools to make it a better experience? How am I going to store them? Where am I going to maintain them? How am I going to make sure they're accessible so that if this feels really approachable as opposed to them being, hidden in the basement, at the back under the sink? Like I want to make cleaning feel readily available. So it's shaping a lot of my thought process around millwork and including smarter, more accessible storage solutions so that cleaning feels more a part of our day-to-day routine than sort of a chore that has to be done at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And even with interiors, we're seeing such a resurgence of like fun laundry rooms.
Yes.
Like just making them so beautiful and putting a lot of thought into them.
Yes, that's so true. Like turning functional spaces into beautiful spaces.
Yeah, that make you feel good. You walk in, it has like a beautiful tile, beautiful millwork with special hardware, and you feel good when you're in there.
Well, and Amanda is also building in the new house a cleaning closet.
Yes.
Meaning a beautifully organized, well, actually you describe it, please.
No, Rach knows it so well. We've been talking about it based on the new products coming out, but we are basically going to have a cleaning cupboard in the kitchen and one up in our laundry room. Just to your point,
yes,
the laundry room is not hidden in the basement. No. It's second floor, fully visible, and I'm excited to spend time in there.
Absolutely.
And I think that again is just, these were not things that I would have prioritized 5 years ago. And now they're things that are top of mind. And I'm excited to do this because I think it is a lot of the way that consumers are thinking about home decor and design moving forward. So putting myself through the paces and thinking about it, I think is going to lead to some really interesting innovation in the product development space for us.
I can't wait to see what you have in store for Dottie. One last question before we go. Where do you see Dottie in like 5 to 10 years?
Oh, we love this one. I do. So we again do talk about this quite a bit. Amanda and I have big plans for Dottie, big vision. And I think, it does encompass the full home. So to start, we do want to span the full cleaning category. And we've talked about, some of the product innovations coming out this year, but we do have a roadmap that actually extends 7 years. And then I think we might get into some other areas in the home. So, we'll keep you posted when we're ready to talk about some of those other areas of home care that we can participate in. But, our vision is really to play an important role in the way that people care for their homes and live in their homes. And I think cleaning is the first place we're going to tackle, and then we'll see what comes after that.
And I think the only thing that I would add to that, but Rach touched on it briefly before, is our mission. So when it comes to supporting mental health research and programming, we are in our early phases of our business, but with $1 from every order going towards research and programming, we really view that Dottie is going to play a really important role in helping to expand and elevate, the research as it relates to women's mental health, but also youth mental health. And these are goals that Rachel has had since she was a kid. If you had asked little Rachie what she wanted to be, she would have said a philanthropist. So while this is a business, I really think that it's also a platform from which Rachel had a dream as a kid to be a philanthropist. And I personally am very excited to support her on that journey with Dottie. And I think we want to set some pretty big targets for ourselves in terms of the impact that we'd like to have in this space.
It's amazing. We at the Penso Group cannot wait to watch your adventure unfold, and you are making such a big impact. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. This has been so fun.
Such a treat.
And our followers can find you at www.getdottie.
GetDottie.com. Yeah.
And that's Dottie with 2 T's.
Dottie with 2 T's and an I.
Perfect. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.